Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today we're doing a card pull, and it's from the Secret Language of Light. Wow. Transmissions from Your Soul. Secret Language of Light. This is by Denise Jarvie. Love this deck. Ugh, gross. Anyway, so funny thing is that earlier, I had my son pull a card, and I kind of was setting the intention that it was for YouTube, but I still ended up pulling a different card. But a funny thing is the card that he pulled was Let Your Light Shine. And I think it was more for him to remind him to embrace the weirdness that he is. It was really fun to read about it. Like, we're all designed the way we are for a reason. And even though I personally don't always agree with the choices everybody makes, I know that they're making those choices for a reason, and it's not my place to judge them. And so I know that my son, he's 15 years old, and he's kind of in that age of trying to figure out what's what and what he believes and what he doesn't believe and who he is and what he isn't. And, what's weird and what's not weird. His favorite color is pink, and he loves cars and dinosaurs still. And he's realizing that not everybody his age is like that. So it makes for a challenging opportunity for him. But it's okay because, we're here to learn and we're here to experience life. And I want him to learn to just embrace the uniqueness that he is and just be like, hey, I'm sad that you stopped liking cars because you thought that you were too old for cars. I still like cars. They're grown men that still like cars. They just don't collect the Matchbox cars. Usually, they've kind of moved on to real cars. But they still have that little boy in them, but they've changed a little bit so they can feel okay about it. Instead of just embracing, hey, I like all these cars. Not that they don't like the big cars too. But I think that is something. It was hard for me because I played with Barbies until I was probably around his age. And it wasn't always accepted by people. And so I learned to hide it. And that's just sad. It's just sad that we force people to grow up when they still want to hang out in their imaginations and be youthful. So as you can tell, still a little something, but I'm doing much better today. Thank you. Lots of releasing of energy and just trying to really figure out what's going on. A lot of energy I was carrying that's not my own. Some of it's been the earth, some of it's been my mom's, some has been my children's, and some was my dad's. Like, there's just a variety of things that I've had. Some of it I've been carrying since before I was born. I picked it up in the womb. Anyway, I just had a thought. And some people don't believe that because I mentioned something to somebody else and she brushes it off, and I'm like, you were affected by things that happened when you were in the womb. I don't care what you believe. But anyway, I guess that's just part of owning my weirdness. The card I did pull for us, Divine Feminine. How perfect. How very perfect. I have been working on embracing the Divine Feminine. I asked myself what percentage of feminine energy should I be operating from? And I received 90%. I believe that every woman needs to ask what degree, what percentage of feminine energy do I need to operate from? And every man needs to ask what percentage of masculine energy do I need to operate from? And I suppose if you're calling yourself a there or them, I'm sorry guys, that confuses the heck out of me. I was trying to listen to a story that had a non-binary in it, and it was like there and stuff, and my poor little brain couldn't keep track of how many people were fighting in this scene. I was like, wait, that's just one person, right? It's just that one character. I wish there was a different set of pronouns that they would come up with and use that are not plural so it doesn't confuse my poor little brain. But anyway, Um, and if you, but if you do identify as non-binary, then you can still ask what percentage of feminine energy, what percentage of masculine energy. You might be surprised at what you get. Um, my daughter, she got a pretty low, in my opinion, um, for feminine. She got 60%. And as I thought about it, I thought, part of the reason why is I don't think that's forever. I think that's for right now in her life. She is 18 years old. She is in a place where it's time for her to make some decisions and go out into the world, do that kind of push out into the world, which is a masculine energy. So she needs a little bit higher masculine energy to get herself up and going. And then when she can actually get into whatever she wants to do with her life, then she can move back into more feminine energy. And so I don't think it's set in stone that you get an answer today and that's your answer forever. But right now, I am needing to be in feminine energy in so many ways. The world is telling me I need to be in masculine because I'm supposed to be providing for my family, which is a masculine energy. And it's really hard. And I have been asked to step into trusting the universe, trusting God, trusting my higher self, trusting the masculine to show up for me, inviting the masculine to show up for me so that I can show up in the feminine energy. And I'm asking myself, what would it feel like to approach this circumstance, like some parenting challenges? What would it take to approach this from the feminine energy? And just notice what comes to me, if anything, and how I feel about it. I think that our world is drastically lacking in feminine energy. I think even a lot of the creation that people do, whether it's creating and manifesting, creating, even I've got sewing projects here. I think even a lot of the crafts and art and sewing and things that, even music, I think a lot of these things that are kind of, in essence, usually a feminine energy, I think they are being produced a lot in the masculine. And just the way our society is set up, instead of a more feminine approach to it. I know that I have to be careful because I have like 40 gazillion projects to do. And there's this part of me, it's like, let's get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. And when I allow myself to go into that get it done energy, I am no longer enjoying the project. I am no longer feeling in the flow, and I am most definitely no longer in a feminine energy. So it's something for me to consider. I look at my projects I have. When here, I started resenting this project, and I can tell if I'm resenting the project, it's probably because for whatever reason I've allowed myself to move out of the feminine in it. Instead of this project, actually, that's right here. I'll show you it because it's pretty cool. This is the beginnings of a pirate shirt for my daughter. There's pins here, I have to be careful. So I have one sleeve attached. None of the sleeves are, they're all like basically a fabric. One of the sleeves, the sleeve is the one that's not attached. It's all pinned here. But this is my daughter's pirate shirt I'm making for her. And it's really can be a challenge when you're making something for somebody else, because it would be so easy to flip into the provide. And the feminine gets resentful when they're trying to be providing. I'm going to share, actually, I wish I could remember her name. I think it's Laurel Houston. Oh, I can't remember. I need to go watch more of her videos, actually. She teaches a lot about being in the feminine, and I would like, I finally found somebody who teaches what I want to learn, and then I haven't watched any more of her videos. I'm like, really, Michelle, come on. Um, One of the things she talked about, and I may have said this on the channel before, but she talked about um, when a woman who is coming from their feminine provides dinner, she creates the dinner and she nourishes her family and she gives the nourishment on the table. And if somebody doesn't like what she's making, that's okay. I love you. I want to, I've created this meal for you, and there's plenty of more in the fridge because we've created that as well. And it's kind of this appreciation for creation, and there's plenty and more. If you don't like this, or if there's not enough food here, we have plenty. When she is coming from the masculine provide, it's, I made this for you, you need to eat it. This is what I provided you for. And she kind of gets into, I forget that there's other abundance. And it's like, kind of forget about abundance, focused on, I provided this, I made this, we got to eat this. And then fascinatingly enough was when a man is providing from his masculine. He comes home, I've provided this food for you. He may make a meal because it's not it's not role specific, it's the energy of it. So he makes a meal. He's like, I have provided you this food, and I have provided everything in the cupboards, and there's plenty and more, and I can provide more. And when he is trying to come from that creation energy, a feminine energy, and be in that unhealthy for him state, he will he'll be like, no, I made this meal for you and you're eating this. And when he tries to go from feminine energy, he can't see the fact that there's plenty of more. He is focused, and here it is. So when we are coming from our divine feminine as women, we have the ability to see the abundance in the world. And if you are not able to see the abundance in the world, then you may not be in the feminine. And this was hard for me to accept for a long time because my nature is naturally feminine. Growing up, all I ever wanted to do was be a mom. And I never wanted a business. I wanted to help people that I loved, but I never wanted a business. And because, I don't know, I definitely didn't want my business to provide. I was just like, I just wanted to create something and to inspire people and to invite them into a new level of being. I didn't want to make it my source of income. And that brings in a whole nother conversation we're not going to have right now. So I thought that I was being very feminine because of this. And so it's been very frustrating because the knee that I broke is on the left side, which is often considered the feminine. And I was like, what the heck is going on? It took me a long time to figure out. And I realized that my feminine energy was in resentment mode because I was not living from my feminine because I didn't trust the masculine. If you don't trust the masculine to provide for you and to show up for you and to protect you, then you are not going to stay in the feminine. You're like, you're not providing me so I have to provide for me. And then you move into the masculine providing. You're not protecting me, so I have to take care of myself. And so you move into the masculine. You're not, you're not supporting me, you're not protecting me, you're not providing for me, you're not doing for me. All of those masculine things that we wish, well, I'm not going to say that because I don't think that's true. I wished that men would show up that way in my life. I wished that they would provide for me. I wished that they would protect me and, just kind of shelter me even. I always longed for that, and none of the men in my life were showing up that way. And I didn't realize it until recently that I was not trusting. I was not trusting God to provide for me or protect me. I was not trusting the masculine in my life to provide for me or protect me. And I still think I'm struggling with that. And I have a concern. Like, I don't trust that God will provide a man for me who will show up in the masculine energy and provide and protect me. This is my opportunity to look at that and heal that. And so I share my stories with you because even if your situation is not the same, there may be something said in my sharing of my story that touches on something to you, creates an aha moment that kind of gives you an answer at something in your life, whether it's exactly the same kind of thing or not. And maybe your situation is exactly the same. I don't know. Maybe it's very different. And it's okay. It's okay. But that's why I share my story, is because in the sharing of my story, I trust that you will hear something that is just right for you. And so today I'm hoping that we can all step in to our divine feminine to whatever degree we are supposed to. So if you're a man watching this, then maybe your divine feminine, maybe this message is for you to realize that you are spending too much time in the divine feminine. And if you are a woman, maybe it's that you're not spending enough time in the divine feminine. And why aren't you? And for the men, why are you moving into the divine feminine? Where are you lacking the nurturing and the nourishment that comes from the feminine? Where are you lacking somebody creating for you so that you move into creation? And that's not to say that men cannot be artists or all those kind of things. It's just to look at what is missing, I guess, from your life, or what is out of balance. I think that's the real thing, is what is out of balance with your masculine and feminine energy. Anyway, so sorry. Remember, everybody, to let your light shine big, bright, light, and beautiful. Be the incredible you that you were created to be. And I'll see you guys next time.